Hello, my name is Bradley and I'm your host of The Internal Game. Today we're going to talk a little bit again about why circumstances do not matter. Okay, so first of all, back in the day when I was in high school, I used to make music, right? And my history teacher, he was like, "Hey, Brad, can you help me teach some lessons?" And I was like, "What?" I was like, "I'm not teaching history lessons. What?" And he was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Will you help me teach some lessons?" He's like, "Because you know how to rhyme, you do some rhyming, right?" And he's like, "And people remember easier when there's a rhyme involved." Kind of why I still remember that multiplying fractions is no problem. Top times the top and the bottom times the bottom, right? Like it rhymes. I'm able to remember that. I don't do any fractions anymore, but if I was to, I would know how to multiply them because of that, right? So, and I helped them, and it actually worked. Like people remembered the rhymes. So that's why I say things like "new story is the true story," right? Well, today I have another rhyme. It's today's facts are yesterday's imaginal acts, right? Yeah, think about it. Today's facts are yesterday's imaginal acts. But there are no facts. But sometimes we get caught up in this, what they call the 3D, the outside projection, right? An outside projection. And we're like, "Oh no, is this permanent? I did this. This stinks. Oh no, I don't like this. Oh, what if? Oh." And then we're like, how long is this gonna be here? Like I'm scared. Like, oh, I get it. But circumstances do not matter, right? You know why they don't matter? Because they're a temporary reflection. Everything's a temporary reflection, depending on you, right? So today's facts, what we call facts, are yesterday's imaginal acts. Now, it doesn't quite mean that it came from the actual yesterday, but it does mean previous states of being, previous imaginal acts, right? But we want to be able to remember this kind of easily. So if we see something we don't necessarily like, or man, that's really not cool, we can say, you know what? Doesn't matter. Circumstances do not matter because today's facts are yesterday's imaginary acts. So all I have to do is change my imaginary acts, and I will get different facts. Because really, the fact is the inside. Right? I was gonna make a video about proof, and I will. But the only proof that you need that you're gonna get something is if you're entertaining it inside. That's it. If you are being it, you are eventually going to see it. Right? Be it to see it, kind of thing. Right? So that's the only proof that you need. We don't need to be looking out there all the time because it's again a temporary reflection. And I love that word temporary because the world of form is always changing. And no, it doesn't mean that if you get your person or your money, it's going to be there temporary. But it does depend on you and your state and how your imaginary acts, your imaginal acts, right? It depends on that. But it is nonetheless temporary, dependent on you. Everything is dependent on you. It'll stay as long as you want, and you can get something else as easy as focusing on something else, doing different imaginal acts, right? So, but please remember in this rhyme that there are no actual facts besides this law. I was talking about this in the membership live the other day. There are no actual facts as far as what's true for you, what's true for me, all the stuff that could be different for this person and this person depending on what they believe to be true, what they're entertaining inside, their imaginal acts, right? Things like that. But the law is universal. This is a universal law. So that's the only fact. But as far as what you're seeing out there is coming from previous states, previous imaginal acts. So today's facts, how it should today's facts are from yesterday's imaginal acts because why? Because it started inside imagination, state of being, things like that, right? So again, inside first, outside second. It's nothing bigger than that. But we want to remember, we see something, circumstances don't matter because today's facts are yesterday's imaginary acts. New story is a true story. Circumstances do not matter at all because why would they? Nothing's bigger than me. You want to really start taking a light, fearless approach in this wonderful world that we live in and this awesome experience that we're getting to experience. Again, easier with stability, right? Just a thought. Don't let to buy into that. You guys know the routine. But nonetheless, circumstances do not matter, and they never have. They're only a temporary reflection of you. Now they can be more permanent depending on how long you stay. Something like how long you stay in a state, how long you want them, like to make them like true for you, and maybe for the rest of the time being for you in this particular human body, right? But it is still nonetheless a reflection of you, so it's not solid, because you can change if you want. It's not like whatever you experience as a circumstance is not an actual fact, even though we're going to look at it like that's a fact. Is like what I'm seeing is from yesterday's imaginal acts, like from what I was being inside. Okay? But the actual fact is inside first, outside second. You know what I mean? Like you experience the first internally, then it got expressed outside, and we're like, oh no! So we don't want to be walking around scared of stuff, because we know that if we can change, the projection, the reflection has to change. It's not a game of is that true, or but what about this case? But what about this scenario when this happened? But like, even though I did that, yes, even though you did whatever, I honestly do not care. It is all an inside game, and out there is a temporary reflection. I love looking at it like this: a temporary reflection. Like, oh, so and so did this. Oh, money looks like this. Oh, that's just a temporary reflection from it's not permanent. It's yesterday's imaginal acts. That was yesterday's state of being. Previous states of being. Now it is like this. And then you entertain what you want internally, right? Without fighting the outside, without just kind of letting it go. Entertain this internally, the new story, the true story, the knowing that the only proof that you need is to be it internally. And then it will be reflected just like the stuff that you didn't want was reflected. But we don't want to be walking around scared of everything. We don't want to be walking around like, oh, but like I did this. Is this going to happen? What about this? Guys, as a reminder, no matter what, like that we think is so scary that showed up on the outside, and now we're like freaking out, like, no, this is it. In all honesty here, we had already been entertaining those kinds of things internally. We had already been freaking ourselves out. We had already been scared. We had already been whatever. And then it became like an outside, then we actually saw the reflection, this temporary reflection, and we're like, no, this can't happen, right? Like, no. Like it was inside first. So we need to be more concerned with what we're doing internally than what's out there. Now, if you like something out there, you're cool with it, say thank you, love it, like put your focus on it, whatever. But if you're like, no, that's not how I want to be doing things, then bring it back to self. Go within, do the imaginal acts, get your state of being right? Be the desire, and then stay there, and then watch it turn. Like you will see the reflection, because this is law. Today's imaginal acts will become tomorrow's facts, right? Anyway, the only fact you need to know is the inside first, outside second. But you get what I'm saying. Please don't fear the reflection. Please don't fear the creations of previous states of previous imaginal acts, yesterday's imaginal acts. Like they're nothing to be feared. They can go just as fast as they came by you not entertaining them anymore and focusing on something else, being something else. And I mean this. Okay, but you do have to get like a good solid approach about how you're going to do things now. A good solid approach, like, you know what, like, okay, I'm going to be this, like, no matter what. I'm going to entertain this internally because this is what I want to experience no matter what, because the only proof that I need that I'm going to get it is if I'm being it inside. That's it. Because today's facts are yesterday's imaginal acts. And if we don't like these, quote unquote, even though they're not facts, but if we don't like these facts, then we change our imaginal acts, and then we will get a different, and then tomorrow's facts will be different, right? So anyway, that's all I got for you guys. I love you. I appreciate you. And I will see you soon.